We'll go ahead and we'll call the regular council meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. May I have a roll call, please?
Backnick.
Here.
Bertone.
Here.
Harrison.
Here.
Heights.
Here.
Horton.
Here.
Saracey.
Here.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting held February 16th?
Heresy, so moved.
Heights, second.
Mr. Saracey, motion to approve, your vote.
Aye.
Mr. Heights.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Horton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, just for a little housekeeping on the agenda, I'm going to read the proclamation for Child Abuse Month of April, and then we'll go into the State of the Village video presentation. When we come out of the presentation, we'll have Miss Sandy Knight present on the ball fields on East Street, and then we'll go to the Assistant Zoning Inspector, David Radishy. So, proclamation designated April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio. All children of our community have the right to live and grow in a safe, secure, and supportive environment. Enter school prepared to succeed, be able to choose healthy behaviors, and grow to succeed to successful adulthood. And whereas we, the leaders of this community, acknowledge that those rights are not always available to all children, and although there has been significant progress to increase the safety and security of our children, we renew our commitment to protecting our most vulnerable resource. And whereas during 2020, Lake County Children's Services responded to over 1,900 calls regarding children and their families. And as a result, Children's Services worked with approximately 1,000 children who presented a variety of issues which could not be easily resolved. And whereas over 100 foster families, adoptive families, relatives, and other alternative caregivers provide a safe environment for children who were unable to be in their family home. And whereas statistics show that a great majority of children who died from child maltreatment in the state of Ohio were under the age of 5 years old, thus never having a chance to attend kindergarten. And statistics further show that survivors of child abuse and neglect are a greater risk of problems later in life that affect not just the child and family, but our society as a whole. And whereas the best prevention of child abuse can only be done if we both as a society and as individuals take responsibility to offer parents and families the support and tools they need to provide healthy, nurturing homes for their children. Now, therefore, I, Timothy S. Manross, Mayor of the Village of Fairport Harbor, do hereby offer this proclamation designating April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Village of Fairport Harbor. We urge the citizens of our community to join with us to become involved in activities this month and all through the year to raise the awareness of child abuse and to focus our attentions on providing safe environments for children and fostering confident, positive parents. So now I guess we will go to the State of the Village video presentation. Welcome to the I'm Tim Manross, Mayor of the Village of Fairport Harbor. Certainly a different way of delivering this message. We normally would do this in the middle of February at one of our council meetings in person. But, you know, due to the global pandemic, the village, just like many of you in your own lives, has had to switch gears and do things a much different way. We've been having our meetings online since March of last year. So it's been a very challenging year, but one that we're very proud of nonetheless. The village was very busy planning for the future. And we'll talk about some of that in the ongoing video here. So again, thank you for taking the time to tune in. So council members are Vern Horton is the council president for 2021. Last year's council president was Doug Harrison. I'd like to thank him for his good work. Christina Backnick is a councilwoman. Anthony Bertone or Tony Bertone, still our councilman. Doug Harrison, Jerry Heights, and of course Frank Saracey. Village administrator Amy Kosick, very lucky to have her on board. Chris Paquette, fiscal officer. Jim Lyons is still our village solicitor, and our village engineer is Clyde Haddon with CT Consultants. Let's see, department directors, again, Amy Kosick is our administrator. Fiscal officer is Chris Paquette. JP Leonard is our chief of police. Bob Lloyd, our fire chief and 2020 employee of the year. Congratulations, Bob. Mike Rowan, service center director, and Chris Yano, the director of the senior center. Your full-time police department is currently composed of, we have, again, JP Leonard as the chief of police, 5 full-time officers. We have 4 part-time officers and 1 administrative clerk, and 1 K-9 SID that we're very proud to have here in the village. Speaking of SID joined the Fairport Harbor Police Department in November of 2018. Last year's K-9 deployments, building searches, there were 7, handler protections, 1, community policing 1, narcotic searches were 32, article searches 2, tracks 8, area searches 5, K-9 apprehensions 10, and total deployments of 55. SID is very busy. It's a great honor, again, to have a working police dog in a village of our size. SID goes on many inter-agency calls as well. So again, it is a service that the village is very, very proud to have, and we thank the the residents for supporting that. Calls for service for your police department last year were over 3,000 in 2020. The calls do not include people walking in or direct calls to an officer on duty. Training, firearms training, riot control training, K-9 training. Training was limited again this year due to COVID-19. Policing events, lunchtime interventions, Memorial Day and Bike Parade, Mardi Gras, Community Days, Halloween, Harbor Holidays, and Village Fest. Most of those were canceled last year. There is a group trying to pull together a red, white, and blue celebration around the July 4th weekend. So look forward to some announcements in regards to that. Fairport Harbor Fire Department responses. Amount of requests for service was over 1,000 calls. The majority of the runs were for emergency medical services. Fire responses, 34 total fires, including mutual and automatic aid. The fire department, emergency medical services, it's a 12% increase last year in advanced life support. Those are paramedic runs. And that's due primarily, in fact, to the funding that council approved to have a minimum of 1 paramedic on duty. That makes us all as residents here of the village much safer. There was a total of 619 EMS runs. Again, we're very, very busy in our emergency services here in the village, and it's through the financial support of residents and council's diligent management of the finances that we're able to provide such a nice level of service. Their training last year, they logged over 1,400 hours of fire, EMS, water, and other training. And that covers state minimum requirements for fire, EMS, inspector, and instructor hours. Hosted a hazardous material refresher class at no cost from Cleveland State University, and hosted a hands-on patient simulation lab from the Cleveland Clinic. Operational upgrades and changes from the fire department. They received a grant from LyondellBasell. They are right down at the bottom of the hill here on 3rd Street to purchase 2 gas meters that measure 4 different types of gases. We're very lucky again to have world-class manufacturers such as LyondellBasell located here in the village. Received an assistance to firefighters grant from FEMA for the purchase of the power cot and a power load system. That reduces the strain on the lower back to our EMS and paramedics. So those are very, very nice upgrades to have. Continued with the upgrades. I received a grant from Ohio EMS to purchase filter devices for our self-contained breathing the face masks, pieces to be used for COVID patients. Ohio EMS grant used for our share of the AFG grant, 2 new Zoll X Series cardiac monitor defibrillators, and 2 Zoll AEDs purchased using EMS billing monies and fire levy funds. A cardiac arrest patient was successfully resuscitated and was discharged from Lake West after being defibrillated with the new unit. The majority of 2020 was spent planning and responding to the pandemic. An incident command center was immediately set up, which helped protect our residents as well as the employees of the village. That's something that I want to touch on with fire and with police, and really the village as a whole, but really the safety forces just do such a wonderful job of going out for grant dollars and looking for ways to partner up with agencies to reduce the overall cost of these services, again, to the village. And it's through the leadership of Bob and JP that these things are possible. So I really can't thank them enough. Going back to the initial pandemic, I mean, today is February 26th is when I'm recording this video. So it's been almost a year since the first cases started to show up in the United States. You know, and you guys watch news the same way that I do. We've had over 500,000 deaths in this country. It's just mind-boggling, just the devastation that's kind of been put upon us from personal levels, from financial levels, to the shutdown of economies. And we're still working our way through it. But we've got great leadership here in this village. And Bob and Amy and JP, when all this happened, we sat down as a team and we put together a plan of what we thought was the best way to keep our residents safe, to keep our employees safe. We had to shut down Village Hall for a time. We opened it for a time in the summer when the numbers got better. We since have been closed, with Lake County being in the red, but with the numbers trending the way they do, we're definitely planning to open up Village Hall to the public again. Council meetings will go back online here shortly. But I just can't thank the leadership of the village. I get to sit at the top of that, but it's humbling to see the care and dedication from them right on down through all of our employees. 2020 would have been a total bust for the village had not, if it wasn't for them leading and then everybody pulling together as a team. As we talk through some of the other improvements coming up here in 2021, and especially as I talk to the marina development and landside development for the waterfront, if anything, Fairport Harbor expanded during 2020. We took the opportunity that was given to us, I guess, with the pandemic and really focused on waterfront development. Amy was able to secure some money for High Street improvement there that I'll start talking about now. So we'll talk a little bit about the water plant. Improvements for 2021 is going to be a HAB plant improvement paid through OPWC dollars, clear well improvements, sediment tank roof repairs, sedimentation tank weir modifications, filter media replacement. This is a big undertaking for a village of our size to continue to run a water plant. It's probably the single biggest item that keeps me awake at night. It's an honor and a privilege to do it, but it takes a lot of dedicated people, and it's quite an undertaking to do to supply clean drinking water. So it's something that we're very prideful of here in the village. Speaking of some of the things coming up, or actually not coming up, but from last year, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the East Street storm and sanitary improvements. This is a section of East Street from, I want to say 6th Street all the way to New 4th Street. We replaced some of the mains in the road. This has been an ongoing problem of flooding in homes for many, many years. We've worked with the county and with waste management, or not waste management, but the wastewater division and stormwater runoff to try to come up with plans over the years. And many projects have been done, but this was kind of the culmination of that, was increasing some of the lines that are underneath the road there. So that got completed, but that project cost nearly $500,000. Again, it's intended to enhance the operation of the storm and sanitary sewers and a water main located on East Street between, like I said, 6th and New 4th. There was drainage and road service improvement were also made on Joggin, New 4th, and York Streets. Those are the the ends of those streets that haven't been touched in many, many years. A lot of that was paid for through the levy dollars that residents approved about five years ago and since approved. Woodford Excavating of Leavittsburg did the work, and it was completed back in October. Additional accomplishments in 2020, funding secured for the downtown streetscape improvements that I was just talking about. We were awarded $265,000 in community development block grant money. We've applied for that on more than one occasion since I've been mayor and have been turned down every time. I think that's going to be a real big win for that area of High Street, and that's basically going to go from 4th Street right up to 3rd Street. And then we'll start planning for phase 2 of that, which will go from 3rd to 2nd Street. Levy renewals, I touched briefly on the road levy. We were blown away that residents thought highly enough of the job that we're doing and the services that our great employees are giving to them that we passed all three of our levies. So that was for police operations, fire operations, and then the construction and repair of the streets. So thank you again for that. We've revised our zoning district uses. Dave Radishy, who's with the county planning with the Lake County Planning Commission, we hired him in as our assistant zoning inspector last year, and that's really paid dividends for us. We're becoming more and more professional in the way in which we zone here, and part of that has been at Dave's direction. So we're spearheaded efforts to establish a list of proposed and permitted uses for land zoned, industrial in the community, along with recommendation for an expanded variety of zoning categories. In addition, Radishy established purpose statements for the village's zoning districts to provide a sense of direction for each district moving forward. And this is a very important step that we took again last year with the eye of future growth and of future development of our waterfront. So that takes me right into a couple of things that are on the books, I guess, for 2021. Transportation for Livable Communities Initiative Planning Grant. We are seeking funding to conduct a study on how to improve transportation for residents and visitors who are going to and from our storefront and the waterfront district. Lake County Port Authority has prepared the grant application on behalf of us to receive the funds for the waterfront study in the amount of $100,000. Now, that may seem a little, weird that maybe we're trying to study how to get people from down at the beach into the business district, but that's exactly what our problem has been for 40, 50 years. We know that there's 300,000 people that travel to the beach every year. Imagine if we could find a way to take $1 from every one of those folks. That's $300,000 that would then, come into the village. So this will help us as we're developing the waterfront to include this historic district, as everybody's going to be passing through to get there. So those business owners and those shop owners and property owners don't lose out on those opportunities. So this is a good study, something we've been working with the county for many years to try to get going. So we're pretty excited about that. The Downtown Streetscape Project, again, that's phase 1 will begin on High Street from 3rd to New 4th, and that's going to happen in the spring of 2021. So we're going to have new ADA accessible curb ramps at the crosswalks. We'll have improved ADA accessibility into the downtown businesses. The goal is to bid out the job again in the beginning of 2021. So we've got the Fairport Harbor Transient Marina. So request for qualifications was sent out very early this year. Those came back. A group that consisted of members from the village and members from Lake County Port Authority and their board graded, I believe, 5 or 6 applicants. MSA came up to the top of that, and they've been awarded that contract. I was just in a meeting, I want to say 2 weeks ago, with again the County Port Authority and some members there with MSA, going over what our expectations are. So we're very excited about that. And then the landside development, we've been working diligently to identify potential partners for the development of our waterfront. The village's goal
for the new year is to provide a request for qualifications to developers that would be interested in submitting proposal for waterfront development opportunities. Again, we've received help from the Lake County Port Authority for this. That request for proposal has gone out, or request for qualifications has gone out. There was 2 parties that submitted. I believe the county is in the negotiation phase with the one that came out on top. More to come on that. So 2 very exciting opportunities there. Late in 2019, we actually started the ball rolling with our state leadership there. So there was a grant that was awarded, I want to say, in the $400,000 range from the state. We were put into the to the state capital fund for this project. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources, they got the fisheries division that are located up on High Street. They want to move their vessels to the mouth of the river. They have money that they're going to be putting into this project. So this is a little more than just a planning phase and an engineering phase. There's actually monies behind this. We brought our state leaders in to the village to show them what we were talking about. We hosted them at the Fairport Harbor Creamery. The backdrop just couldn't have been better. So we're very excited about that. But that's what we have on tap. Thank you again for all your support. And we're looking forward to a very exciting 2021 and getting back to some kind of normal. So I hope to see you out in public soon, socially distanced with or without masks. Hopefully this COVID's behind us soon. Take care, and thanks again.
Okay, it appears that we're back. So I want to especially thank Amy. Amy put that slideshow together and set up the recording of it all. Amy just wears so many hats for us. Very lucky to have her. Amanda Palumbo from Freelance Video Production and Editing, and a special thanks to Sean. Sean is our IT professional that helps us put our videos, or not just the videos, but the council meetings out. And then this was a bit of a challenge for him to do tonight. So thank you to everybody. I hope everyone liked it. It was tough for me to sit through a second time. I hope it wasn't as tough for you guys to watch the first time. So that takes me to something that I've been watching since, I guess, last year. And I'll introduce Sandra Knight here in just a second. But the ball field's up on East Street. I happen to drive by them at least twice a day to and from work. I've been noticing a lot of work going on, especially with the softball field, the painting of fences. The dugouts have been tore down. They're starting to build some new ones. Sandy has put together a very nice group of volunteers and has gotten funding for most of the work. I know we were asked to write a letter in support of a grant I believe she received from the Cleveland Indians. So Sandy, for those that don't know, she is a teacher here in the schools. She's not a resident, but she does quite a bit for us. So I'm just very excited to see what's going on. I know there's a ribbon cutting ceremony, I think, coming up in a couple of weeks that Sandy's going to be talking about. So Sandy, thank you for your efforts, and I'll turn the meeting over to you at this point.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor, and everyone for having me tonight. I hope you can hear me okay. Presenting from my house here. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I just made a few slides that I wanted to talk about and kind of share some pictures for everybody watching at home. Cardina Field, some history on it. It was dedicated to Coach Cardina in 1997. And, he was a coach for Fairport and a council member as well. But we are coming back to play here. We haven't played, at Cardina Field for several years. But we're going to have a ribbon cutting, and all of you are invited. I hope you can all attend. It's going to be on Saturday, April 3rd. And it'll be from about 12 to 3. All community members are invited. There are going to be some raffle items and and things like that. There's also going to be an alumni softball game. So if you know any alumni that might be interested in coming to play, let me know. You probably know, and maybe I'm repeating history here for some of you, but for those of you that might not know, the ball fields were originally built in 1984 and dedicated in 1985. Jim Cardina was a member, and Clem Urbanski, also who our baseball field is named after, were there, when the fields were built. And I really have felt like while doing this project, it felt like the next generation's turn. And when I look back at history, and I'm a history teacher by trade, but an English teacher as well, it just felt like it was our turn to do this project. And we organized our community very well, and everybody came together. Some of the steps we had, obviously demo, we had to remove the old concession stand and the dugouts. It's kind of a sad day for some because it's, a lot of great memories made here, but thanks to Tony Shivers Hauling, who came and got rid of everything, and our own Scott Rebar got up on top and with the chainsaw and cut the building in half. So it was pretty cool. This was back in July of 2020, in the middle of a pandemic. I think the project started because I'd been sitting at home for too long, and I was 3 months at home for me is like torture. Okay, so we got this started and we got going, and it was an outdoor project, and we just kept rolling with it. The fence was in quite a lot of disrepair and areas falling down, and kind of it looked like an eyesore, so we knew we wanted to paint that. We salvaged what we could, and then we replaced chain on the infield fencing. We had the lady skippers out there working on it this summer. This is our backstop on the softball field, and you can see the new chain. We had to purchase about 110 feet or so of new chain link fencing. It was all installed by volunteers and our coaches. We purchased dirt. About 7 truckloads of dirt came in, and again, community volunteers and people loaned us tractors and equipment to move it all, and that was a big purchase, though, to get the field level. Looks pretty good. We were going to originally keep our dugout, our concrete, and we realized it really was not level. So we had to, get rid of that, and we had the gravel donated for it. We worked really well with the PRP group, and they really came in and helped us out a ton with this project, behind the scenes, really working with the EPA and getting things going there. The concrete work was done entirely by volunteers. All the skilled labor to put it together was donated to us, and we couldn't be more thankful for all of the people that really worked on this project. Dugouts are going up. You might see some wooden structures when you drive by. We still need to put our siding up and our roofing, but volunteers and again, alumni and coaches came to put this project together. We took some trees down that were kind of an eyesore, cleaned up a lot of the property, just trimming up some trees, and got things looking a little better there. Right now, we're kind of on this step with our storage sheds, replacing them and putting a new concrete pad in for our storage shed. We said goodbye to that old red trailer and hauled that away, so things are looking cleaner here. This is kind of a messy slide to look at, but we had to get a new water line in there, and we're still in the process of replacing our electric work and making sure our scoreboard is working by opening day. But this was really, a lot of this work was done free of charge to us and donated by by Glen Springs Holdings, which was really nice that they came in and orchestrated all that work. So the total funds raised, you can see here, we've raised about $46,000 for this project in total. Haven't spent that much. We still are buying things, purchasing things, fixing things. We want to build our press box, and we have to pay, for some materials still that we haven't bought. But really, you can tell that it's been a community project. It's been, we had a donut fundraiser, as silly as that sounds, but it was awesome. Glace Fairport made a Skipper donut, and just the way that the community came together. We had some movie nights. We did, a pizza night. It was really encouraging to see just how supportive the village is. We have some future community partnerships. We have the Cobras are going to be playing on the Cardina Field this summer, and the Cleveland Prospects will be playing on Urbanski Field. They were playing on it last summer. And one of our graduates, who's a high school baseball player now, played for the Prospects, and they sent me a check today, for $2,000. So, we get these community partnerships, and it just is there's so many benefits that you wouldn't even realize, just to having people on that field in the summer, and that's what one of my goals is, to have people there playing all the time. So really just want to say thank you to all the alumni and the local businesses, the entire community of Fairport Harbor, people just helping out in ways that I didn't know were possible when we first started this project. But looking back and seeing it all come together has been really encouraging. This is a sign that Colleen Moskowitz designed for me, and it's going to go up on the entrance field to the field. So coming soon, you'll see that there when you pull in. Again, we have our ribbon cutting on April 3rd, which is Saturday, coming up in a few Saturdays at 12 p.m. It'll start. We'll do a first pitch. One interesting thing you may know, Coach Cardina, his great-granddaughter is playing on our team this year. So that is one of the connections. She's a freshman at Fairport, and her dad is coaching the team, so that is awesome too. The McFadden, so that's kind of a neat connection. Coach Cardina is going to throw out the first pitch to his great-granddaughter. I think that's pretty neat. So I just want to say thank you. I didn't mention the VFW specifically by name, but they were one of our MVP sponsors this year, and donated $5,000 to have our dugouts, and to have this project. Really, when I got that check, I remember crying. I know that sounds silly, but I was just so moved, and to see that our community, the way that they support our schools and our students and our athletes, and it was really encouraging to see just this project come together. So come on out to the ribbon cutting, and hopefully you'll win some prizes. Maybe there'll be some raffles.
Okay, good. Sandy, thank you so much. Again, I just think it's telling the amount of dollars raised. I think the one piece that is great to take away is that you've got a sustainability piece of this built into it. You're looking for a way to continue to fund. A lot of guys have been on council as long as I have. This has been bantered about and talked about for years in the village, and no one's been able to kind of pick it up and carry it. So don't sell yourself short. It was your vision and it was your action that really put this together. And you're right. It's amazing to watch this village come together when they find a cause that they want to support. But what you're doing there is wonderful, and we can't thank you enough. Kudos.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Hope I didn't go over my 5 minutes.
Oh, you did just perfect.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on in our agenda here, Mr. Dave Radishy.
Good evening, Mayor. We have on the agenda, we received a request for rezoning from T2 to R, and we also have all the zoning amendments that I suggested to the council a couple weeks ago. Both of those need a public hearing. So I'm asking the council to set a public hearing for your next council meeting, which is April 20th. And during that time, the two items will be on display for the public to see. And we will take comment during this period until the public hearing from the public will be email and letters. And we will need to submit the district amendment to the Planning Commission for their recommendation at their next meeting. The text amendment has been to the Planning Commission, so it does not need to go back.
I have a quick question, Dave, on the change of use. Does that not fall into our dual overlay district, or is that come just short on High Street, or too far from?
The dual use is actually if you have a residential property, you can do commercial uses, but it does not go the other way around.
Understood.
So the property is currently zoned commercial and he wants to live there. It needs to be rezoned to residential.
Okay. All righty. I would suggest then council make a motion to have the public hearing. We can do 6 or 6:15 before the next meeting. I don't think we're going to need a lot of time for it.
You have 2 items, Mayor, so I'll make a motion for 6 p.m.
Okay.
I'll second that. Horton.
Bertone,
Aye.
Horton,
Aye.
Saracy,
Aye.
Harrison,
Aye.
Bites,
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Dave, Vern Horton here. I have a quick question for you. I noticed reading through the packet on the request to change it to residential, he's asking for 30 years. He's asking for a 30-year temporary variance highlighted in the packet. There's no way we can do that, right? It's either residential or it's commercial.
Yes, either you rezone it to residential or you keep it commercial.
Thank you. That was just my interpretation. I just wanted to clarify.
So let me ask another question while we're still talking about this one. Is it been zoned commercial? It's commercial in that area. That area is not residential. Is that correct, Dave?
That is correct. There's actually there are 3 properties zoned commercial. This one is the middle property. There are 2 single-family legal non-conforming uses on either side of it. They're zoned commercial.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Mayor, I can tell you how that happened. That property is a victim of the spot zoning that was done in the late 80s when they decided to rezone parcels in the village, and there was a business operating there, so they said, this is a business district.
Gotcha.
It wasn't through planning.
Understood.
I believe that the property that 421 was originally the fisheries office before they moved down to High Street or East Street.
Yeah.
And then that's why it was probably zoned to commercial. And then somebody else bought it from them. Has been using it as an office.
They're the ones that put the loading dock on.
Yeah.
So does that imply that we need to run this through planning commission in the next meeting? Is that within the time frame?
Yes, this needs to go to planning commission. I will make a presentation to planning commission, and then the planning commission will make a recommendation at the public hearing for the council to consider. Once the council closes the public hearing, then they can act on the request by passing an ordinance.
Very good. Thank you, David.
Yep. Thank you. All righty. Thanks, Dave. From our solicitor, Mr. Jim Lyons.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Clyde and I are working on a revised flood prevention ordinance that needs to be passed by May 4th, where it would have to be passed at the April meeting. This ordinance is required by ODNR and the feds so that the village can participate in the National Flood Insurance Program. So Clyde has gone through it. It's a 33-page document that replaces what we have on the books, and Clyde has okayed it as being sufficient for our needs and meeting the requirements of ODNR, and so we'll have it for you well in advance of the next meeting.
Thank you, Jim.
Great.
Any questions of Jim? If not, from our solicitor or from our administrator, Amy Cossack.
Okay. I just want to let everyone know that Village Hall will be reopening to the public starting Monday, April 5th. Masks will still be required until further notice. We're encouraging our residents to continue to use our drop box at the 3rd Street entrance to drop off their water payments or other correspondence. The 2nd floor, which houses our fire department, will remain closed to the public to ensure the safety of our first responders. Our next council meeting, which is April 20, is scheduled to take place in person at the Fairport Harbor Senior Center at 6:30 p.m. There will be limited seating due to state requirements for those meeting groups. The meeting will still be available to the public remotely through our website. At Downtown Streetscape, I'm happy to report that we have officially received and signed our agreement for the Community Development Block Grant funds. Once the commissioners have signed the agreement, we'll be able to move forward with preparing the bid package, which will then bring us to the construction phase, and I'll have many more details for you as we move forward. I've included the Lake County Engineers 2020 Bridge Inspection Report in your packets for your review. The News Herald ran numerous articles on us in late February and early March. We were in the editorials, the public meetings, BZA appointments, and the mayor's upcoming State of the Village presentation. And finally, as we start to get events returning to the village, Just Run Lake County is going to be returning in 2021, and Fairport Harbor will once again serve as the host. The event, which has been approved by the Lake County General Health District, will take place on Saturday, May 29th from 9 a.m. to 11. And that is my report.
Thank you, Amy. Anyone have any questions of Amy? From our engineer, Mr. Clyde Haddon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Just a couple updates tonight. Our water plant upgrade, the HAB that you spoke of in your village address, we did send that out to bids, and we received bids, and that is on the agenda tonight for legislation to enter into an agreement. And we have another water plant project, the PAC improvements that we are underway designing. Amy mentioned the downtown streetscape. We're excited to get started on that. And Jim did a nice job on the FEMA floodplain ordinances. And the reason why we have to update these is because FEMA has established some wave runoff zones from Lake Erie that create some minor modifications to the floodplain map. So I will have a copy of that map at the next council meeting if anybody cares to take a look at it. And that's all for me tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Clyde. Any questions of Clyde?
I do have one. Do you know when they're going to finish the 7th Street project?
I do not know, but I certainly can inquire.
Okay, thank you.
I don't even think they've opened up the asphalt plants yet, Jerry.
Okay, I had a resident ask me the other day, so.
Yeah, there's temporary patching on there with concrete, and once the asphalt plant's open, they'll certainly replace that right away.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
One comment for Clyde, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I noticed some apparent rust forming on the, I guess it would be the south face of the water tower. Just an aside.
Okay, thank you very much. I will make note of it and put it in my report.
Okay, from our fiscal officer, Chris Paquette.
You have a copy of the February revenue and expenditure statements. The police and ambulance leases are under review with the solicitor right now, legislation to be presented at the next council meeting. And a list of obsolete and unneeded vehicles and equipment will be provided at the next council meeting also, as we go through and try to get some stuff sold and get it out of our insurance policy. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Chris? Safety Committee, Mr. Saracy?
I just wanted to echo what the mayor had stated in his State of the Village about our police and fire, how proud we are of them and the great job they do. And do either of you chiefs have anything you want to comment on?
I just want to say that we've been working some for the COVID vaccine. If you're interested, sign up on armorvax.com. And there's usually about 3 clinics a week in the county. They'll get you scheduled and you can get your vaccine.
Very good. I know I received my first shot down at Perry Senior Center. It went very, very well manned and very well organized. So thanks. I know, Bob, we're sending guys down, correct, to help out there?
Yeah, we send as often as we can. We did 2 of us went today, and they have another one Thursday. We'll be sending a couple guys Thursday.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, I think I need a motion to pay the bills.
Seriously, so moved.
Second, Harrison.
Saracy.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Blacknick.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Horton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2021-18, a resolution expressing the intent to sell personal property not needed for the public use by internet auction and declaring an emergency.
So moved. Bertone.
Heights, second.
Move to waive the rules, suspend the rules. Bertone.
Backnick, second.
On the motion to suspend, Bertone.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Saracy.
Aye.
Horton.
Aye.
On the motion to adopt, Bertone.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Saracy.
Aye.
Horton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2021-19, a resolution authorizing it and directing the village administrator to enter into a contract with Union Industrial Contractors Incorporated for the water treatment plant improvement project and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt, Horton.
Heights, second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Heights, second.
On the motion to suspend, Horton.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Saracy.
Aye.
On the motion to adopt, Horton.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Backnick.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Harrison.
Aye.
Saracy.
Aye.
Thank you.
I also need a motion to have a special council meeting this Thursday, the 19th, at the Senior Center at 5:30 p.m.
So moved, Mayor. Bertone.
Second, Horton.
Seriously.
Mayor, is that an executive session or a special meeting?
It is a special meeting. We probably will be going into executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Jim, do we need to state any of those reasons now?
We do. We should state the reasons for for the special meeting. So if it's for personnel or whatever else it's gonna be, we should do that.
Okay, so the special meeting is to discuss personnel matters and real estate transaction. So we have a motion and a second.
On the motion, Bertone,
I think Tony looks frozen.
yes.
I don't even see him.
There
He
he is.
just rejoined.
On the motion for a special meeting, Bertone,
Aye.
Saracy,
Aye.
Backnick,
Aye.
Heights,
Aye.
Harrison,
All right.
Horton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's all I have this evening. Counselor, anyone else have anything else? I know there were some questions that Amy had told me about earlier. Amy, we want to take those now?
Sure. We had, let's look at them here. Yes, we had some questions from Chris Pinta on inquiring what is the current status of the designated outdoor refreshment area, DORA? What is the proposed time frame for implementing the DORA? We have been working with Brian Dirtle, who's a legislative aide assisting the county. And this is going to the state level. And actually, we provided a white paper to Brian, and he's taking it to Representative Troy and Senator Yuko. And what we're basically asking is, we're seeking to change the geographical size of the population of community in order to qualify the DORA, to make it easier for a community of our size to navigate all the ins and outs of this legislation. So he's taking it to the next level for us. Brian wasn't able to get back to me before this meeting, but we'll get an update to see where we are in that process.
Right. And I can add that I've had conversations with State Representative Troy about this directly, and Brian as well. So as far as the timeline goes, I think that would be impossible to answer at this point. But I do know it is on their agendas. Last email I recall seeing from Brian 2 weeks ago, he was going to send a follow-up to Senator Yuko if he hadn't heard back from him by the end of that week. So I know this is on Brian's radar as well. And again, that's in conjunction with the county as well with Jason Boyd. So we're working on this. Go ahead, Amy. Sorry.
And his second question was, why have the salt piles on the Osborne property not been covered? It's blowing salt all over Water Street and, more importantly, houses.
So
Mary,
salt piles, I guess we could follow up with Chris and find out, is it the salt piles across the river? Because the only salt across the river is Morton. And I don't know of any salt that's on our side of Water Street that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and there has been, and I know that Frank and I have talked to, and there has been some sort of white residue that's been hitting the cars lately as well. I am going to reach back out to, I'm coated in a white residue. So I know those folks, I'm going to reach back out to see if they can join us out here for a little visit and kind of reassess where we are with that.
Okay.
And the final, final question was, please confirm that the village will be reassessing the property values of recently sold properties, commercial, for village tax purposes. I was told that it was done yearly when properties are sold in the village. And Chris, would you mind sharing your thoughts on that? I know we spoke earlier.
Well, property tax down, so it's never been, to my recollection, done by the village. And I think it's on a 3 or a 5 year schedule. And the last one was done, I think, 3 years ago. So we're coming up on a reevaluation, but it's not right away, as far as I understand. Property values are set by the county.
Right.
Okay.
But I think they do adjust them when there's a sale of the property to whatever the market value of the sale was. I see Dave Radish is still on. Dave, do you have an answer for that?
Yes, the county auditor does a reappraisal every year, every 3 years. They do a triennial one. They we'll go out and spot check properties. They do adjust the property values based on sales. If property was previously appraised at 500,000 and it sells for $1 million, I think they will adjust the value of its taxes. Now, it takes a year or two for them to take effect, because when we do a subdivision, it's recorded today. It won't be until 2023 that we actually start getting values of the new properties, because you pay the end of this year you pay for 21, and then the end of 23 you pay for 22. So it'll take a little while for that to take effect.
Thanks, Dave. I'm glad you stayed on.
And I know from experience on construction projects, during and at the end of a construction project, based on the inspection record with the county, the auditor will come out and see what portion of it is complete, and they reevaluate. So,
Okay. Good.
yeah, they chase the money.
Which would make sense. Okay, I don't know, again, I don't have anything else. Council got anything? I need a motion to adjourn.
Seriously, motion to adjourn.
Second, Horton.
On the motion to adjourn, Saracen,
Aye.
Horton,
Aye.
Horton,
Aye.
Harrison,
Aye.
Heights,
Aye.
Ocone,
Aye.
Backnick,
Aye.
adjourned at 19:29.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
See you,
guys.
everybody.